Hello, good morning, everyone. Okay, so hi everyone. Welcome to the Mind from Mood Summit by Naluri. My name is Balkis, and I'll be your host for today's session. Now, just to share that in the view of the World Mental Health Day earlier this month, we are doing a string of 6 webinars, which is going to be taking place today and tomorrow. So we'll be covering various topics such as work-life balance, as going to be covered today, mood disorders, gut health, and you will also get the chance to hear from the experts directly. So before we welcome our speaker for today, I would like to remind all of you on a couple of ground rules, as you can see here. So first of all, if you are logging in using your phone or your laptop, make sure you have a supported browser and that your internet connection is stable. And if there's any problem with your speaker, make sure to test your speaker output first. And if you still experience any technical difficulties, try refreshing your browser and then rejoin the webinar. And if you still continue to experience any issues, just send a private message to @Naluri Events on the chat box, okay? And then it's not moving. Okay. Okay, I would like to encourage everyone to ask your questions, participate in the polls, and also share your thoughts on the chat box. And if you have any questions along the way, just type @Pamilia, which is the speaker for today. And then, if you would like to remain anonymous, be sure to tick the send private message. And then the handouts will be available to download on the tab on the right hand side of the screen. And then this presentation will be shared at the end of the webinar. Okay. Now, before I let this go to the speaker, I would just like to ask everyone to be your curious self, absorb as much as you can, and please be kind and polite to each other in the chat section. Okay, so we'll now move to welcome Pamilia Andrew, the speaker for today, for the topic on achieving work-life balance. Pamilia, over to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Balkis. A very, very good morning to everyone who is present here today with us. I am so, so happy to be able to see all of you. I think you're so amazing and vibrant. I can already feel the vibes in the chat box. So let's keep it really, really interactive. I love to interact with you. So I will keep looking at the chat box from time to time. You can ask any questions that you have, anything at all, as we are going along. And I'll be so, so happy to address your questions and even comments or thoughts that you have as we go along. Yeah. So allow me to introduce myself, like what Balkis said just now. So you can call me Pam. I am a clinical psychologist. I've been with Naluri since 2017, and I'm so happy to share with you a little bit of tips and techniques. How do we get through this journey and game called life? If life were a video game, okay, how do we do that while juggling with lots of things in our lives, while also trying to survive and work and be happy at the same time? Okay, so let me share with you a little bit of statistics if you have heard of this before. Did you know that there are about 77% of people who experience burnout at least once in their current jobs? Anyone here who really feels like you might be experiencing burnout? Can you drop me a PM message? You can PM me by typing Elias and then you type my name, P. It will come out Pamilia. So you can type that and you can say me in the chat box. If you don't need to be anonymous, you can just type me in the chat box without anonymously typing. Okay, thank you so much, Comarenzo says once a week, I would agree. Okay, that's definitely. Thank you for those who are PMing me. Yes, there is audio actually, Alyssa. Maybe you might need to refresh or reload. Okay, so a lot of you are saying me privately to me. Okay, thank you so much for sharing that. Me. You're right. Thank you for sharing that with me. On and off. Yes, definitely. During peak period, I can definitely say that I have had burnout before. It really peaked a lot, especially during the pandemic as well, right? Okay, remote workers, people who actually work remotely, they are very vulnerable as well. So a lot of times people feel like I really prefer to work from home as well. I mean, I do agree that it can be so flexible and so nice. I do enjoy that occasionally too. But did you know that when people work completely remotely, and I know some people who do this, they sometimes are very susceptible to being so vulnerable, and they kind of suffer in silo because they work in silo, and they go through a lot of stress as well, and they sometimes feel like there's no social support in that. So yes, exactly, complete remote can feel very isolated. Thank you, Lydia. And some of you are saying me as well. Okay. All right. So taking a break from work from home from the house can be helpful as well. When we went completely to the office, we felt like I really just want to work from home. But when you go completely at home as well, you might feel like you miss the office ambience. And you, what we really miss is the connection with people. We, by default, are social creatures. We need each other. If we feel like we just want to work alone, only okay, we might as well go to the Himalaya mountains. I think over there, so you will stumble upon some Sherpa or somebody over there as well, right? So sometimes having a little bit of blend can be very, very helpful. Okay, oops, I already showed you already. I wanted to surprise you actually up here. Um, can you guess right now? Okay, countries that I know you already saw a sneak preview, but can you guess right now? What do you think are the top countries that have very good work-life balance? Anyone can see that? Can you type in the chat box, perhaps? Okay, Iceland, Norway. Yeah, we would think that NZ. Okay, Susanna. Okay, great. Sweden, Canada, Finland, NZ, Norway. Yeah, those are the countries that I would think so too, right? Those are the happiest countries. Netherlands, definitely. All these, France, Australia, NZ. Interestingly, I actually went to New Zealand last year. It was very peaceful and beautiful, and you can see like that the way that they work, the mindset that they have towards the environment and also towards people is very peaceful and beautiful. Wow, I love that. Kwang Chen said Malaysia, very, very high work-life balance. That's really nice to hear as well. Okay, let's have a look at the statistics here. We have top 10. Okay, this is the top 10 nations for work-life balance. Number one, you are right. A lot of you guessed NZ, and you're right about that. Number two, Spain. Malaysia, not sure when. Okay, number three is France, and then Australia, and then Norway is actually number six. Netherlands seven. I would have thought Finland and Norway, Netherlands would be like the top three, right? But it's so interesting to see that NZ is number one, and Auckland has been found to be the number one city for work-life balance. Also, I went to Auckland and really seeing how they're very chill and happy about things, but they're also very efficient. So it's not to say that they're so laid back without doing anything. They are working really hard, but they know how to work smart, and they also enjoy having family time, people time. Everything kind of closes very early over there. They really focus a lot on family, and I love that they focus a lot on the environment. You know, the Maori culture really rubs off on a lot of the other elements in their offices as well. We start off our official events with like there's a Maori song, a Maori prayer, a Maori kind of speech that they would say to remind everybody. So maybe that could have something to do with it as well. I thought Switzerland also, actually, Sharizal. So maybe, okay, this is not the happiness nation, but it's more towards the survey on work-life balance. So very interesting to see that. Guess which number is Malaysia? Anybody want to take a guess or not at the moment? So this is like top. Okay, Shahira, so clever. Okay, 57 is very close. Okay, 50, Keldrick is very close. Harpreet is also very close. Okay, let's say, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't tell you. The total number of countries were 60. Lah. Okay, 60. So, can you guess? Okay, number 60. Clever, lah, you guys. Okay, actually, we are 59. Oh, Nick. Thank you, Nick has seen. Okay, we have like 59. Somebody said 59. Okay, Azreen said 59. You're right. We are second last. The 60th country is Nigeria. Brunei, I can't remember right now which number are they, but the 60th is Nigeria. We got 60. So we kind of beat Nigeria. We are number 59. It's kind of something for us to take note of. I think, yeah, it is sad. Don't you think so? Singapore is above us, lah, but I would have thought Japan would be below us. I thought so. I'm sorry, but I kind of thought that. But it's so interesting to see the number here. It's not for us to feel like bad about ourselves. It's just a very interesting statistics there. It's something for us to reflect and think. I think we work really hard, honestly. That the good thing is that we are 59, by the way, 59. We work really really hard, but the thing is sometimes we work so hard, we want to be so geared up, that we forget to take time to just pause and rest. So I'm not saying that it's all of you. It could be because it's just statistics, right? But it's kind of like talking about the stats that they got from their research. So it's really interesting to see this. Okay, let me ask all of you right now. Which of these numbers can you relate to? Which one represents you? Can put either 1, 2, or 3. Okay, or 1.5, 2.5 can be a combination. 2. Okay, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. A lot of us are 2. Can you see? Kind of right relates to the statistics that we saw just now. Do you think so? Okay, a lot of you are 2, a lot of combo 1 and 2. So 1 is like the Zen mode. I'm so calm all the time. Number 2 is like I'm so pumped up and really stressed. I'll feel like breaking down, a lot of burnout over here. Number 3 is like, you know what? I'm so on point. I got my game face on. I know what I'm doing. 1.5. Okay. Anyone 3 over here? Like you feel like, you know what? Right now, I feel like this is my zaman kegemilangan. This is my top period of, functioning at work. Anybody here want to be a 3? It's okay. It's great that you want to be a 3. And you know what? Burnout is real. You're right. You're absolutely right. Seldom number 1 because you have kids. Okay. Even if I'm calm, they'll pull the lion from my inner body. That's interesting, Kumaran. Yeah, sometimes they bring out the inner beast in us. 1 and 2. Yeah. Okay. You know what? The good news is, right? It's normal for you to be 2. It's also normal for you to alternate from 1 to 3 in a spectrum. But it's just that if you are at number 2 for a very long period of time, it's good for us to get help and try reaching out to someone, talk to someone about it. Because otherwise, it can slowly tip over from stress, progress to burnout, from burnout, slowly go over to depressive symptoms, and then it can very much go into a full blown depression, right? So it's very important for us to take that time to focus on ourselves. Very, very important. Okay, 2 for a long period. Yeah, it's, and I don't blame you for that, because you might be juggling with a lot of things. So it's really important, everyone, to care for yourself. But it's the management care for the situation when we're in number 2. That's why it's really good for the management to do that. Interestingly, when you do a survey, right, there are a lot of companies in Malaysia or even other countries that really care about their employees. They have a lot of employee assistance program. But that's why it's good for you to reach out, voice out to these. If your company does not have that, maybe suggest that about that. So something that they can do to help you. Because remember, I really like how some companies say, be well, work well. If you know which company that is, let me know. Okay. And even a lot of companies actually have a lot of EAPs that have. Okay, coming to the main thing right now for today, work-life balance. What do you guys think? Does it even exist? Can you type in the chat box? Does it even exist? What do you think? Does work-life balance even exist? No, 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 right? Actually, I agree with you. So what are we doing here then? Let's close the link. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Don't go, please. Yes, Shafira is so clever. PwC. Yeah, exactly. And a lot of companies in Malaysia have a lot of like very nice programs for that. And we are ourselves, Naluri is also helping a lot of companies. Okay, it exists, but socially, no. And in reality, no, right? So you know what, you guys, I want to high five with you because I believe that it's very hard to have work-life balance, but it's nice that we entertain that thought to think, how do I have my own balance? So people think the word balance, right, is like a scale. So this is balance, isn't it? Is it? Okay, wait. Something like that. So that's balance, right? And you have a scale, things that you're going through in your personal life and in your work. You have a balance to pay attention to both of these aspects. But can they really be perfect 50-50 balance? The key is what is balance for me may not be balanced for you, right? So everyone has their own way of having a balance. Pakcik nasi lemak has better work-life balance than us, finish work at 10 a.m. Wah, bestnya. Tapi we do not know what he does after 10, kan? Betul tak? We do not know what he might actually. So work-life balance, it may not be perfect for us, but you have your own way of having your balance. So that's why then people came up with the progression from that is they came up with work-life integration. How many of you know what it means here? Let me show you. So first, People said, let's have clearly defined work hours and personal time. So after this particular time, you don't call me anymore because I'm going to be a personal time. And then in the personal time, also you really, really focus on that. And you don't think about work as well. And in your work time, don't even think for having personal time. So they say that, you know what? Balance is like that. You have to have a clear cut off. But we all know that things are far from clear cut in our life, right? The only constant in life is what? The only constant is change. Am I right? It's change. That's the only thing that's constant in life. And if you're able to be versatile, that's how you kind of be flexy a little bit. You kind of have this versatility in a little bit, right? I found that some employers prefer that their staff show number two means that they're really working. I mean, that's a very good observation, Biben. Honestly, I really agree with you also. Some employers might feel that way. Yeah, that's true. And that's not exactly healthy. So that's why we need to provide some awareness to them that being in number two all the time will eventually result in a high turnover rate. And if your staff keeps getting sick, then they're not going to be able to perform. So that's where we need to have more awareness like that. If you're happy, you can give 100%. No, you will want to give back so much, right? So it's very important to do that. Okay, Adila says, I now no longer attend to messages after work hours. It's a bit cruel, but for myself, only urgent things. You know what, Adila, I really applaud you for that. That's really wonderful. If it's really, really urgent, then only you do it. Okay, who can guess which boss and which company said this? But I don't know if I'm allowed to say. But I love this very nice advice that a boss said this. Okay, he said this to his employee, and his employee is telling me, I miss my boss because my boss said this to me. Ask yourself three questions before we want to respond to things outside working hours, and before we want to like really pulun and sacrifice our balance and our health. Three questions. Okay, see if I can remember. Okay, number one, is it gonna cost the company billions and billions of dollars or ringgit or money if you do not respond immediately? Is it? Okay. Number two, is something gonna burn down if you do not respond immediately? Number three, is it going to cost a life? Is somebody going to die if you do not respond immediately? So these are the three questions. I didn't say this. Okay, this is a boss of a company, if anybody can guess which company. And he said that to my client, and she felt so happy being in that company, and it was wonderful. It's not Steve Jobs, but good guess. It's not him. It's in Malaysia actually. So there are nice bosses out there, there are. So this person said it in Malaysia, and it's wonderful that he said it. So the person felt like, wow, they care about me. They even say, go back, go back. So it really depends lah. So provided that you give 100% when you're at work as well, right? That's very important. But I do acknowledge that there are times when we are on annual leave. Sometimes there are some things that people need from us that maybe they kind of need an urgent thing. Of course, during those times, it might not be wrong for us to kind of just, okay, here it is. Now I need to rest, that kind of a thing. But not making it a norm, not making it a habit as well. Don't you think so? I don't attend to WhatsApp messages when I'm on annual leave for MC. I think that's good. I think that's good, provided that it's not an emergency that they suddenly need. Oh, suddenly they say like, Kumaran, I need your help right now. I don't know where this file is, and it's an emergency. We're gonna get audited. Maybe that time you can actually help a little bit. But then, if not, then you don't have to respond and be all the time, how do you say, available, because that's going to really affect your balance, right? You will know in your role, when do I choose to respond to this and when do I not. Okay, the second one is work-life integration. So that's what they came up with. That means, you know what this means? A simple example is, I know a professor who would be going to the spa, okay, during working hours and checking proposal while getting his or her nails done together with the wife and everything. So he's and her, so they will be doing their pedicure and manicure and pedi-mani while checking a proposal and research project and grant. The research assistant is there also. So it's all this integration happening. So I don't know what you think about that. So I feel like a lot of people like doing integration nowadays. But you know what? It really depends. Because a lot of times when I see people doing this, they tend to overwork more because they integrate work to take over their personal life. Sometimes. So those who love integration, if you're able to integrate also your personal life, having a balance, then I think that's good. But a lot of times I see that When people do integration, they tend to overwork a little bit more. So then what do we do then if we can't apply that? Right? Right. Monirat, I agree with you. Sometimes it may not work as well. So you know what? There is this wonderful speaker. You gotta listen to him, by the way, if you get a chance. He's on YouTube. His name is Carlos Hidalgo, and he says, "I love work-life harmony." Or okay, so he said harmony is like you find what works for you. You synergize that. You foster a harmonious balance, and your balance might be today working a little bit more and your personal life being a little less today, but tomorrow you kind of like bump up the personal life and then your work kind of like takes apart in a way. I mean, for me, I feel that really works very well. I agree with him, you know. So he is someone that really, really gives a lot of talks about burnout and work life balance. You got to listen to him. He's super nice. So integration can name as multitasking. Um, I would say, you know what they say, multitask. That's a very good question, by the way, Jesse. You know what they say? Multitasking is a myth. What do you think about that? They say it's a myth. We don't actually, we're not wired to multitask because we can't really manage more than one task at a time. We are just very quickly task switching. So that's a good point that you brought up. We can't really multitask. So that's why work life integration might be a bit of a challenge for us because we're just task switching. So you're just task switching very, very quickly. So it might be difficult to focus as well, right? That's very true. Yeah, overbearing your brain. That's true. So if you're talking on the phone while cooking, you're thinking you're multitasking, right? But actually, you're very quickly task switching. You know, you're not focusing here as much as you're focusing here. You're focusing on the onions, then you quickly switch to the conversation, and the onion getting extra brown, that kind of a thing. Okay, so harmony is what helps a lot, and that helps very, very much. You know, I find that very doable. Okay, so this is killing us and making us go to crazy when we found that the management is not bothering about the staff health. They just ignore the staff. How could we get the stress managed when we deal with this type of toxic management? I love your question, Kumaran. I think that's very important because we are a holistic human being. So we have a physical body, we have emotions, we have a mind, we also have a spiritual element in us, we have finances, we have also social, and we also have the work part of us, the part that wants to fulfill our calling and purpose, if that's how you see your work as well, right? But we need a harmony in that. So if you feel like your boss or your management is not really looking after your health, I think it's good to voice this out, to actually share that with them, that you really want to give back to the company. But in order for you to do that, you need to also be taking care of yourself as well. So I think that's how you can share. You can reach out to that because you'll be surprised. A lot of companies in Malaysia actually are starting to do that. So it's maybe if yours is not doing that yet, maybe reaching out to your company about that, voicing it out, showing them this webinar maybe can be helpful because a lot of companies are starting to do that too. Seriously, when I researched on that, I saw that there's a lot that Malaysia is doing. There's a lot that other companies are doing. But how do we leverage on that? How do we tap on that? How do we voice that out and make sure that it goes across all levels of management? I think that's our role right now. You know, let's do that together. So that's something that we can do. Harmony here. You find your own way of harmonizing. For example, just to share with you, my cousin's wife just passed away yesterday, and I felt really, really concerned seeing my family members, those who are very close to her, especially, and I feel like okay, today I'm gonna go after this webinar. Actually, speaking of which, right after this, I will be attending the funeral. So that's in a way finding a harmony to focus on personal plus work. So you find what would help you in that, right? Okay, then Carlos Hidalgo then says, okay, his name is here, work-life boundaries. Let's have boundaries. If harmony doesn't really work for you, then how do you have harmony? The first step is having boundaries. You really define your work hours and your times for off duty, and you really, really find a way to have a good, definite boundary in that. Thank you so much, Caldrick. So you find a way to have boundaries in that. How do you have boundaries? What is the first way to have boundaries, everyone? Can you tell me? Like, how do we establish boundaries with people? Say no. Clever. Yeah, exactly. So one of the ways is to kind of like say no, block. How do we say? Flight mode. Yeah, he's in TED Talks. Exactly, Regina. You gotta check it out. It's really nice. So have boundaries. Say no, and then also flight mode. But you know what? D&D. Okay, but you turn off blue tick. Okay, that's a good one. Not, but bye. Yeah, that's true. D&D for personal time. That's true. Okay, the company hired Naluri to tell us about work-life balance, but the bosses don't care about that boundaries. Okay, I see. That's interesting, right? That's why I'm sharing with you that it's really important that every level of management and every layer actually gets the same awareness. How do we bring about this awareness? So maybe having more awareness talks like this, maybe communicating that to your particular management would be really helpful, because I believe that the fact that they sought Naluri means that they care about you. But maybe the implementation part could be kind of like leveraged on a bit more. So that's what we can work on together. Having two phones helps. Caldrick, you are very right. That's so true. I really agree with you. So very much, very, very true. So work-life boundaries, learn to say no. But remember, saying no at the right time, to the right person at the right moment. Not everything also we say no, right? We need to know the right moment, how to balance that, to harmonize that. Otherwise, you don't get a harmony. Okay, now this is anonymous. Can I bring out the first poll here? What do you value most in life? So I know you value all of it. So can all of you go to the poll here? So what do you actually value most in life? What would you say that you value so much? So can we go to the poll? I know there's some questions here. I will definitely address this. Maybe if we can see the poll for a moment. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. Um, can you guys share with me? I know you value all of it, but the one that you feel like is the number one thing that I really, really cannot live without, which would that be for all of you here today? What do you value so much? So it's so interesting that a lot of you, okay, self care is leading at the moment, and inner peace and love. Okay, it's interesting to see that. Anything else? Anybody? Okay, so that's the one that's leading right now. Okay, 43% of you say self care. The second highest one would be health and balance, and then the third, friends and family. Do you know this is a very good sign that I see here? Because it shows me that you put yourself first, and that's not selfish at all. Because if you can't care for yourself, you can't give 100% to your loved ones, right? So a lot of you say self-care and then health and balance. You are super smart and you're heading in the right direction. Because a lot of times people would say, no, I put my family first, but what they don't realize is that if you are not 100%, then you can't give 100%. I wouldn't be able to attend a funeral today if I wasn't feeling stable today. So that's the kind of thing that you can do. How do we use our resources to be our best self in our job, in our personal time, in our life, and in yourself as well? Because if you're not okay, then you can't function. Am I right? So that's what you need to learn, everyone. So I love your answers. So everybody says, okay, most of you, the first one we have is self care. Then we have number two, health and balance in the lead, then friends and family, and then after that is achievement, and then passion for learning. Okay, it's not wrong at all. Very, very good that you all of you are saying that. Okay, I'm going to show you some practical examples that's going to definitely answer some of your questions in the question bar just now. I wish for self care, but the reality, family first, which kind of burnout too. After working, come back, need to attend to family needs. Yeah, I agree with you, Clarissa. I mean, only you know what you're going through, in your particular line and in your particular work, in your particular family. That's your needs, and that's what you need to do to provide, right, as a provider in your family, which is not wrong. I guess finding a way to have time for yourself also, maybe incorporating a little bit of that every day. You know what Carlos Hidalgo says? So he says that his wife and him would have 10 minutes of alone or 20 minutes of alone time in the morning. So they wake up extra early, and that's their self care, just together with each other, 20 minutes of a coffee time before they start the day. So it can be something as simple as that, something that is just for you. And that's really nice as well. So, how to maintain that, which is what a lot of you are asking. Um, okay, three. Okay, three things that I want to share with you. Okay, everyone. The first thing is values and priority setting. First, you need to know what are your values, because your values are different from your colleagues' values. Your values are different from your boss's values. So you need to know your own values first. You cannot follow other people's values because their value can be different. Some people, they feel like they have the need to focus more on their physical health. So they feel like fitness is their main value, kind of a thing. Some people, they feel like it's their colleagues are their main value. But what is your value? What would you like to set as your value and your priority? So here, like Toloi over here, Karipin says that me time for self and spouse. That's very nice, because remember, you are yourself first. For example, can I just take a name here? Okay, I'm gonna take Aisha, Siti Aisha. Okay, Siti Aisha is Siti Aisha first, before she is a wife. Before she is a mother, before she is an employee. I always tell my mom that also, You know what? I saved my mom's name in my phone. I put mom, but I also put her name, Santa Teresa. So I also put her name there because I want to remind myself that my mom is a person first before she is my mom, before she is a wife, before she is a provider for us. So always remind yourself that you are a soul first. Who is Aisha right now? Who is Adila? You are a person first before you became a mother and a spouse or anything. So you know how they say in Malay, kubur masing-masing, right? Which means that at the end of the day, it's between God and you. So it's you and a higher source and a power. So you really need to focus on yourself first and your calling and your passion and your purpose. So what are your core values? And then only you set your goals for your life, your resolution for next year, okay, or for the remaining months that we have. Can you imagine it's already October? I can't believe it, really. So anyway, we have October, November, December. Let's not waste these 3 months. What is your resolution? What are your goals that align with those values? My value, it's really, really interesting, by the way, you guys, if you look at that, right? So there is a survey to see your values and your character strengths. If you look at it later, I'm just going to share with you very, very quickly if you want to see your value. So I did it a long time ago, and my value was spirituality when I did it in 2019. Lah. Then in 2023 and 2024, I did it, and my value came up as like humor and everything. It's just interesting to see your signature strengths over here. You got to check it out. So when you know your value, it shows how you connect with people, what you do, what is important to you, and then you prioritize your tasks. Okay, let me introduce you to this particular ways of prioritizing your tasks. First is well-being, mental and physical. Then is it family or is it professional growth? Which one is your value? So focusing on which particular part. Okay, so can I ask you right now if you can share with me your value here? The next poll that we're going to bring up here, what motivates you the most in choosing your job role? Since we're talking about work-life balance, right? So what do you guys think? What really, really motivates you about why you in your job right now? Why you here? Why you choose that job? Okay, what made you choose that particular role? It's so hard for me to choose this one, but okay, number one. If it's me, right, I would choose sense of purpose for me. Lah. Um, that would be my number one. But of course, we all need everything else as well. But what would be for you? What would you choose as your number one motivation and role? Okay, so a lot of you choose financial security, which is real. I appreciate your honesty, by the way. We need a job because we need to survive as well, right? We need to survive. We need definitely we're doing it also for we need income, which is very practical. But bigger than that, what is your main role? So most of you said financial security. Second up, we have sense of purpose. Then third is personal growth, and then we come status and FOMO. Nobody FOMO. Is it okay? Okay, 1%, is it? One said FOMO lah. Okay, but most of you said finance, which is not wrong, but you can see like it's really nice if that you really have a if you look at your role right now and find value in it, a sense of purpose and calling in it. If you can think of a way to kind of like find a meaning in your job, you will wake up every day like pakai lanyard pun like, oh yes, I'm an avenger or something. You really feel like, happy to do it. Okay, what is sense of purpose? So sebagai contoh, okay, for example, kan, you are whatever role that you're doing. If you're a manager, if you're an employee under a manager, my sense of purpose is to support my team. The reason that I'm here is because I really want to be able to grow as a person in my job right now. I want to learn as much as I can. I want to grow and I want to know how to contribute back to this particular division and company for the betterment of mankind, Jay, for example. Or something as simple as I want to grow in this. I want to see how far I can motivate myself and challenge myself. I want to support this team because I believe in the vision and mission of my team and company. If you can think that way, right? The way you work pun different though. Seriously. Yes, Siti Aisha Superman pose, definitely. The way you work is different. But if you feel like you're stagnant, or if you feel like macam I don't really like my job, I hate it actually, I'm just doing it for the money, it's gonna be burnout now. So that's why it's very important for you to find some joy in your job. So if you lost your passion, maybe it's good to talk to someone about that, how to regain back that passion. When was the last time you had passion, and what gives you passion? So it's good for you to discover, muhasabah diri, cuba cari what exactly works for you, right? Yes, I'm really sorry for that, Afika, honestly. You know what? That's why we are here for you. So lagi kan, we're going to show you how we can help you out, how we can support all of you. Okay, so yeah, dulu passion kan, now it's survival. That's why it's really important for us to find out what are the triggers that sucked the passion out of your job. Remember that burnout is when very mundane things start to creep into your life and you have to remove things that give you joy to make room for these mundane, terrible things that suck your energy and joy. So you have to discover what exactly is doing that in my life today. And how can I incorporate more of other things that give me joy and purpose? You need to find that out, everyone. So discover that. What gives me passion and how can I incorporate that in my job? Right? Okay, so I want to go to work to gossip. Pakcik bawang kat sini. Okay, so now let me introduce you to this guy called Eisenhower. Okay, he has this matrix here. It's called the Eisenhower matrix. It's really, really important and nice for us to have a look at this, everybody. How to plan your time, how to discover your to-do list, macam mana kita nak, how do we actually maneuver through the day and the week? Okay, can you take out a piece of paper right now or your iPad or something and let's just draw this quadrant together. Can we do it together? Okay, divide that into 4 squares. Okay, so over here, quadrant number 1 is what is urgent and very important on your to-do list today. What is very urgent and important? That means, for example, can like things that you have to do, things that you must do by today. It's very, very urgent. Plus, it's important. You know, you have to do that for your boss. You have to do that for your company, for your particular division. It's on your to-do list for a long time. It's urgent and very important. Okay, write it down there. Usually we want to reduce the things here tau, maksudnya we want to like try to cancel it fast. You want to try to be able to like, let's do it, come on, we have to check it off our list. So write it down over there. Yep, you can use Excel juga. Okay, all right. The second quadrant adalah, okay, it's not urgent but it's important to you. Can you give me an example tau? What is not urgent sekarang ni in your life but it's important? Lunch. Yeah, true, Caldrick. Hobby, you nailed it. Definitely true. Traveling, that's so true, Suraya. What else? Toilet break. Itu urgent lah, Kayao. That's urgent. That's kind of urgent sometimes. Okay, food hunting. Yeah, it's not urgent, but it's kind of important to you because you like that. Getting married is not urgent, but it's important to Dayang. That's true. Yeah, good one. Holiday, it's not urgent, but it's necessary. Okay, vacation, spa, watching your favorite thing on Netflix. You know, it's what do you guys watch on Netflix right now? Okay, so it's not urgent, but it's important to you. Spa, betul, betul. So what do we do with that? Schedule a time for that. Make room in your day or in your week for that. It is important. It may not be urgent, so we put in the back seat, kan? But you don't realize that it's very urgent. Okay, sorry, it's very important. Facial, laundry, betul? Nobody is going to fire you if you don't do your laundry, kan? But it's very important to you for your well-being, for your sanity. So you need to schedule time for that, for your self growth. It's not just for relaxation juga tau. You might have a hobby. You might have some books that you want to finish reading, but you haven't had time to book out and read because you put it in the back seat because that's not for you. It's not urgent. So many other things creep up on your to-do list that's very urgent. So we tend to forego these things. It goes in the back seat. Lepas tu, it's not even in the car anymore. Okay, I'll fire myself if I don't do my laundry. Bagusnya Yasmin, that's very good. So that's very nice. You're your own boss. That's the best thing you can do. Okay. Quadrant 3. It's not important. Tapi kan, it's very urgent. Maybe can you delegate these things? Can you delegate some stuff to people? Can you delegate this? So maybe, okay, it's not that important that you have to do it, but it's kind of an urgent task. Outsource? Can you outsource it? Do you have interns working in your company right now? Maybe you can ask for their help. Maybe you need to outsource some things. Maybe you need to delegate among your team members. Who over here is a superhero? Superhero syndrome tak? It's like you lah yang kena buat semua sebab you tak boleh delegate. You feel so scared to delegate. You have to take on everything. That's dangerous as well, right? So yeah, exactly. You might end up doing everything, but it's very important that you delegate because otherwise you get burnt out and we don't empower others to do also, right? Isn't it? I used to be like that. Now I learned to let go of some things and empower others. Okay, number 4 is piti intern. Betul-betul. Janganlah dump everything on intern. Tapi some things lah kita boleh minta tolong. Betul tak? Okay, not urgent and not important. Does it even deserve a space in your life, in your time, in your day? What do you think? What are some examples of this? Not urgent, not important, but it keeps on coming to you. How about doom scrolling? Gossiping, betul, betul, very good. Gossiping, doom scrolling, just scrolling, just empty, right? Small talk. Guys are very smart. That's true. That's very, very true. I mean, I love TikTok actually. I love it, but cuba kita look at it mindfully. Do you know how to mindfully scroll? Today, I want to watch these comedy videos by my favorite TikToker, the favorite influencer that you like. And you mindfully go to that channel and you have self-control to stop by a certain time. Maintain sanity. Yeah, actually, I love watching some of those funny, stupid, very nice cat videos. It's so cute. But have a limit, okay? Judging people, betul. Tinker your algorithm. Okay, interested. Okay. All right. Not urgent, not important, but fun and brings positive emotions. Okay, that's good. So those will come under second quadrant. It's not urgent, but probably it's important because it brings you positive emotions. So those ones, make room for those. Those are good stuff. Set time limit for TikTok. Bagusnya Sharisal. I need to do that too. So remember, things that bring you fun, they're not urgent, but if they give you positive emotions, you know what? Those are important. So make room for those. Those are crazy, happy, funny stuff that is nice to just, do that with your friends sometimes. Okay, the second one, boundary setting. You really need to be able to set boundaries. So you need to have your own time, like your own time, kind of like, I wouldn't say limit. Limit sounds so scary, but maybe cut off time. Does it sound better? You have your own. Yeah, your cut off time can change every day because let's face it, it's quite stressful to fix something so hard on set in stone, right? Yeah, focus time is a good word. Have focus time and have plenty of you can say this is my TikTok time. This is my schedule of fitness time. This is my spa time. This is my family time. When was the last time you played Scrabble with your family? Have you guys done that? When was the last time you played Monopoly with your children or your family? You don't even need to only play with family. You can even play with your friends. Okay, it's really, really years ago. Sometimes, right, going back to the tangible games, like stuff that you can touch, is really therapeutic. So making time for that is really nice. Okay, so don't play the kind of game that makes you stress lah. Maybe online games. Actually, I used to play Pictionary, is it? With my friends online using Google Meet. It was funny. And then Dam. I love Dam juga. All right, limit availability, calendar blockers. You know what? Why don't you calendar invite yourself for tonight? Calendar invite yourself for something fun that you want to do today. We always set a calendar invite for serious stuff, right? My cousin and me did this. We calendar invited ourselves for a phone call with each other to just chill. We calendar invited ourselves for like fun, happy time to go shopping. Do that. It really makes a difference. And create a very nice workspace. Do you know I made a very strict rule? I will never bring my laptop into my bedroom. And this is because when I was burnt out, I used to sleep off with my laptop on my bed. And it was so horrible. So that's my rule. I never bring my laptop in my bedroom ever. So that space is all about rest and relax and peace. So find your own rules. Macam Yasmin tadi kan, she'll fire herself kalau tak buat laundry. Find your own way of having your own rules. So practice saying no. And sometimes the person you need to say no to is yourself, isn't it? Okay, the third one and the last one is self-management. You got to manage your own self. Yeah, exactly, Siti Aisha. Don't let the laptop ataupun your phone pun to be the last thing you see before you sleep. That's so sad, don't you think so? So do something that you like. Invite yourself, betul. Thank you, Aziz. Cuba buat tu. In calendar, invite yourself for doing something fun, anything at all. Tahu tak? I calendar invited myself for Netflix even. Today, Pam, you got to watch this movie. So when you do that, you're mindfully like setting time for yourself and you feel nice. Your works from home workstation is your bedroom. Okay, Ivana. All right. It's okay. If that's the only space you have, then make sure the bed is off limits. So the bed is going to be a place for you to have sleep hygiene. Okay, self-management is this. Taking care of your thoughts will then take care of your emotions, will then affect your behavior. Remember, everything usually starts with your thought, right? When you keep having a particular thought, that thought will eventually translate into an action, right? And that action will then become what? A behavior. And that behavior that you keep doing more and more will slowly become a habit. And a habit that you do often will become a lifestyle. So, in between that, there's some emotions that you also need to take care of. So, all of these things can really, really help. And one of the ways is digital detox, which is what we're talking about in the chat room here as well. So browsing for cute room divider, that's a great idea, Ivana. Curtain separation, or yeah, room divider, something like that. So you have some kind of a cut off. You know what it symbolizes? It symbolizes you detaching. I think that's what we need. We need detachment. Yes, you will get the slides in the handouts. We need detachment from blocks of activities in our day. So if you're exercising, detach from work. Preferably, you're not exercising during working hours because I'm not sure if that's how it'd be good for your company. Are you okay? Maybe if you're exercising before 9 or before 8, right? So detach from checking resist the urge to check your email at that time. You are going to detach from that and you're going to attach yourself mindfully in your fitness. If you're having breakfast, detach from the phone and focus on that cup of coffee and your bread or whatever that you're eating. If you're cooking, cook mindfully. If you're watching Netflix, watch mindfully. Don't be scrolling your phone. So it's really, really important. Can we practice having mindfulness? How many of you are like, I bet you're doing something while listening to me right now. And that's okay. I understand it's office hours right now. But you know what? It's really nice if you can detach and really, really focus. So it's okay. I love that you're so responsive, even though you're task switching. Lah. Okay, so detachment is very important, being able to do that. So coming to all of you in the chat box just now, right? A lot of you are going through a lot different kinds of stressors and things. I want to share with you that Naluri actually offers these services. You can have, if you download our app, Nanti I will show you the QR code. You can actually have access to a fitness coach and an executive coach, and also a medical doctor, a mental health coach, psychologist. So then you will also have access to a dietitian. So you have access to all these amazing people on your phone, and they will respond to you within 24 hours. So that's really pretty much an amazing thing to have. And plus, you will also have access to remote therapy, which you can actually have, you can actually make a session to book a session with the psychologist. So these are some of the support and resources that we have. So these are our care lines. Look at which country that you are from, and these are the numbers to call. Okay, so you will get access to these slides, don't worry. And this is an emotional well-being assessment. If any one of you can actually spend a few minutes to just scan this QR code over here, and you can actually take this assessment. Naluri, for Cambodia, um, maybe can I have help from Balkis and also Cheese to help us out? Is there any number for Cambodia here? Is there any helpline that we're providing? Can help answer in the chat box. Okay. In the meantime, can I ask you to do this emotional well-being assessment? This assessment is very important for you to be able to understand and be aware of your emotional well-being, your functioning, and how are you feeling in a nutshell with regards to your emotions. So, what is your mood like? So, if you can actually scan this QR code to do this. Okay. So the persons that will pick up the call for the care line are our trained and experienced counselors. So they will actually pick up the care line. I have had clients, my own client actually, in remote therapy, and she called up the care line at 3 a.m. and they answered and they were willing to help her out and process and help her out in what she was going through. So they are trained actually in answering these care lines. Okay, it's great that you update once a week. Okay, the QR code, sorry, over here. They won't so the role of the counselor and the psychologist is not really to give advice. It's more like you have someone to listen and process what you're going through, and they will help you through that as well in a way that counseling and psychology works. So we don't really give advice, but we help you to find the best way forward in what you're going through. So it's not just listening, keeping quiet like that, like, oh, is it that? Not like that. We kind of like listen to you, active listening, but we also can do some counseling over the phone as well. Okay, all right. So this is the assessment here. You're right. Yeah, you can actually You can scan the QR code later. Sorry. And this is the mood journal. I really would love to recommend you to try this out because there are so many moods that you can choose from based on how you're feeling, and you can track yourself. I used to do this manually last time. I would have a calendar I would print out, and I would have these smiley face stickers that I would stick every day, either smile or not so happy, and I would stick it on the calendar literally to monitor my mood, for the whole month. And it was really fun to do that because I would look back at like, how did I feel last month? And I would see like, okay, there's a lot of smileys and less angry or sad ones. But this is even more high tech over here. I would recommend that you try this out because you can choose out of 36 moods that you want to track and enter into every day. So this is like a tracker for you. How do you feel on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday? And it really helps to track your mood. So really, really interesting and nice for you to do that. You can get access to this in the app. Okay. And you would have one-to-one consultations. I love this. This is when you can have actually access to speak to somebody on from Naluri. So one of them is me as well. So you can actually speak to us for a one-to-one Naluri consultation. All right. This is the app. All right. You can download the app here for web also, or the app on your phone, or you can use your laptop. If some of you prefer laptop, I think it's nice to prefer to type like this. So you can definitely do that. Um, Limit for one-to-one consultation. At the moment, I don't think there's a limit. Is there a limit? Cheese and Balkis, can you help answer if there's a limit here? I don't think there's a limit at the moment, but maybe Cheese will help clarify. Okay, so we have come to the part of Q&A. I would like to now open for questions. If you have any questions, I think we have some in the question poll area. So let me just see. Okay, after being conditioned for so long, I struggle with guilt when I set boundaries. How can I overcome this guilt? You are right, and this is a very good question, by the way, Azam. Yeah, you've been conditioned for so long to struggle, and to actually like go through so much, right? And we have been programmed that if you take time to rest, you have to feel guilty. So it's so difficult to set boundaries like that. So I think I was guilty of that a long time ago. So one way is to exercise the muscle of setting boundaries. Once you start to exercise that muscle, you can role play it with somebody. So like you can use our mental health coach to role play that with, to say no to some things, to set boundaries. And then you can say, I do feel guilty saying no. Something as simple as you have set a fitness goal that you want to take care of your cholesterol, so you don't want to eat, very, very scrumptious cakes very often in a week. And you have a friend who loves to do that. So your friend keeps calling you and gets offended if you say no to your friend. So this is a fitness example, okay? And then you don't have to feel guilty to say no. So stand your ground. Okay, if it's work related, you have too many things on your plate and you've been programmed to feel guilty if you say no. So maybe practicing saying no in a way that works for you. So what works for me is I kind of say that I love this work. I love this particular task that you want to put on my plate right now. I really appreciate that. However, I have a lot of things on my plate. Is it okay that I could probably take on that new role once I'm done with what I have remaining now? If not, maybe could we delegate that to someone because I really feel I cannot cope right now with too much. So as you start to say that slowly, you are teaching people how to treat you as well. And you're setting boundaries. So I think it's exercising that. After a while, the guilt will become more manageable. Okay, so somebody says, I'm at the start of my career. I recently graduated and I'm currently interning, but I already feel so burnt out. Okay, the role I am doing is something I really wanted and something I enjoy, but I am struggling to stay engaged and energized throughout the day. Okay, I mean, I think that's really good that you're being very, very honest about this. And I appreciate you sharing this. I think what you can do is finding out, ask yourself, like, is this really the job that I wanted? Because it looks like you're feeling burnt out, right? Is there something, maybe you really like that job because you mentioned that you wanted it, you enjoy it, but it's so hard to cope with it. So find out what could be the trigger that's causing it to be hard. Is it a people issue? Is it a load issue that's too much on the it's a lot if you do 10 things that you enjoy and then you're like that's my limit right now, but people put 10 more things and also stuff that you enjoy, you start to have burnout, and you start to slowly hate the things that you enjoy because it's too much. So too much of anything is also above our threshold. So you find out what's causing that discomfort for you. Is it a people thing? Is it a too much load thing? So once you figure that out, then you will know how to maneuver through that struggle. So talking to someone about it can be very helpful. All right, thank you so much for this next question here. Going above and beyond is often associated with working extra hours or spending some time on work related stuff on weekends. Do you think it's possible to still be seen as going above and beyond if we set strict work boundaries and stick to regular working hours? The way I see it, right, is that if somebody wants to think negatively of you, no matter how above and beyond we go, they already set in their mind that is your label. So it's like if we're going to try to work above and beyond, sacrificing our health at the expense of our family and health as well, ask yourself, is it really worth it? If people will, in the end, choose to think whatever they want to think of us, regardless of what we do, right? Sometimes. So, what I say to myself that I'm just going to do what I can within my capacity, and sometimes you might go above and beyond, but limit that beyond, be within your capacity, and stay visible. I think visibility is important. I do believe that all of you are doing a lot already in your job, but maybe having visibility is something very important. So whenever you're doing something, share that with your colleagues. Some people feel shy. They say that I don't want to blow my own horn. So don't have to share to everyone if you don't want to. At least let your boss know what you're doing, because I'm sure you are doing a lot. Having visibility is important. And then having strict work boundaries. I think if your boss cares about your well-being, they would know that that's definitely normal, and you're working effectively and efficiently. It's not efficient to work extra hours actually in reality. So I think setting boundaries does not is not actually a bad thing. It just shows that you're efficient and you know how to pump it up and do your best within your capacity. Okay, let's see. Any other questions here? Well, I think we have 1 minute left. Let me just take one more question here. How to overcome negative self-talk that keep playing in my head? Okay, that's a very, very good question. So remember, the negative self-talk that comes in your head is a thought, right? Figure out, okay, I love what a wonderful speaker once, this is a spiritual speaker that taught me this. Imagine that your mind is a clear canvas of blue sky, and every thought that you have is a cloud. So when a cloud comes by you, if it's a negative self talk, ask yourself, is it true? is it really correct? Is this an assumption or is this a fact? If it's an assumption, let it pass you by. If it's a fact that you feel like the negative self talk is accurate about you, ask yourself, why do I feel this way? Why do I think this way? Is there anything I can do to manage this? Maybe I need to improve on something, or maybe I'm not as bad as I thought, and I just need to acknowledge that I'm doing the best I can. So, a very nice way I find doing a positive self talk is to start your sentences with yes, but. So, it's like, yes, I may not be perfect, or what is your self talk telling you? So, yes, I suck. I think I'm not good at this, but it does not define me as a person. It doesn't mean I'm a failure, and I can still do my best in so many other areas and I can still improve. So, that's one of the ways that you can tell yourself, right, everyone? So, I think we have come to the final part. Please don't go yet. I want to share one more thing with you. If you like these kind of sessions, which we are bringing to you right now, there are so many more that we have in store for you. Please do not miss it. We have a very nice one going on today as well at 2 p.m. I love listening to her. Shirley is going to talk about the gut mood connection. This is super interesting, how happiness also starts with the gut, right? And at 4 p.m., we have Diana talking about mood matters, another very interesting, brilliant talk. And then tomorrow, my very wonderful friend who's here as well, Lydia, is going to speak about finding purpose and productivity at work. Then we have Shasi, a great fitness coach, going to talk about the power of exercise and mental wellness for mental wellness. And then we have Jess Rajan at 4 p.m. tomorrow, understanding mood disorders, a very nice, important, serious topic as well to attend. Please try to attend all of these. They are awesome. I love attending them too, actually. So, really, really wonderful. I'm so glad that you joined, everyone. So, thank you so much. I'm going to pass the time back to Balkis or Cheese. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am, for the very great insight shared on the setting healthy boundaries to achieve work-life balance. So I hope the audiences have learned one new thing from Pamilia today. So please remember to share your good feedback on the feedback form that we'll be sharing at the end of this session. And if you are curious to learn more, check out the link in the chat box for the other webinars mentioned just now. They are all still open, so feel free to register now. And then the slides, I know a lot of you have been asking, so we'll be sharing that as well in the chat box. So feel free to download them, and the recording for today's session will be sent to your emails as well. So until then, have a great rest of the day ahead. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everyone. Take care.